Nonprofit Dreaming Solutions Spotlight. We're excited to see everyone here this morning. And I am going to turn this over to Katie Healy without further ado. And let's get started on learning about this solution.
Hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are joining from. Thanks so much to Melissa and Akash for putting this on. We are super excited to be presenting today. So I'm from Idlewild Partners. I'm joined by my colleague Stephanie. We'll do intros here in a couple seconds. But today we are going to be talking about why can't I see everything important about this record at a glance in Salesforce and what our solution is for solving this. So just very quickly, we are from Idlewild Partners. We're based in downtown Brooklyn. About half of our team is in New York. The other half are remote. We work with over 350 nonprofits. We were founded 11 years ago now, and we've got a team of 26 folks. My name is Katie Healy. I'm one of the implementation consultants at Idlewild, and I'm joined by my colleague Stephanie, who'll be leading the demo, who is also one of our implementation consultants.
Hello, hello.
And then just to tee us up, so again, the challenge is why can't I see everything important about this record at a glance? Often in Salesforce, you've got to scroll. So our solution to this is the Idlewild Record Spotlight Accelerator. So this is something our team has developed, and we're excited to demo it to you today.
Over to me. Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie King. I am joining you today from Minneapolis, and I'm going to share my screen. Here it is. All right, let me introduce you to Eugene Smith, and everyone can see my screen, yeah?
Yep.
Super duper. Eugene is actually one of our most involved constituents here in our demo org. He's a board member, for one thing. He's also one of our top donors. In addition to regular annual giving, he has an average annual giving, an annual gift size of about $1,000. He's also part of our Legacy Society, which is people who have set up a planned gift as part of their estate. Eugene has somewhat recently started volunteering regularly. And on top of all that, he's currently participating in our dog fostering program. So he's got a lot going on at our organization. And since Salesforce is our single source of truth, all of that data is right here on Eugene's record, believe it or not. As I was going through all of his wonderful participation in our organization, could you spot any of it on his record? Let's take a look and see what it actually takes for me to really understand all of this super important information about Eugene. So first, I mentioned he's a board member. So to find that, I am just going to scroll until I find, here we go. I've got a boards and committee information section, and here I can see a checkbox that tells me he's an active board member. Okay, great. Next, I mentioned he's a top donor. So how am I going to understand that he's a top donor? Well, I can look at the usual donation information roll-up, and I can see his total gifts and annual giving and some soft credits. So there's nothing that immediately like labels him top donor, obviously, yet, but I can kind of read the tea leaves here and see all of those dollar signs and see that he's a pretty good donor. If I'm a gift officer and I'm wondering about that average gift and what I'm going to ask him for, I'm going to hunt around here. Here it is. There's that average gift size that I might use to sort of calibrate my ask for Eugene. Have to hunt that down. For Legacy Society, he has a planned gift, and I know we've got a checkbox. Oh yeah, look at that. He does have a planned gift. I found it. Now, he's a volunteer. How am I going to know he's a volunteer? Okay. Aha. He has several volunteer registrations. That lets me know that he has volunteered. But I guess if I want to know anything like how much he's volunteering or any of those other details, I would just have to click into these records and maybe do some math, right? Now, I know Eugene is also dog fostering, but if I'm a new user in here, I wouldn't know that until I scroll down and find some of his program participation. Let me see. Here it is. Program enrollments, pet adoption and support 2026. That's our program for our current fosters. So if I see that, now I know he's fostering dogs. So that's great. Thanks, Eugene. So as you can see, if I didn't have this prior knowledge about Eugene, or if I wasn't interested in, scrolling and clicking around and kind of digging into all of these related lists, there's just not a quicker way to know what is important about him. And these important things, these are the things that are important about Eugene, but it's different for every contact, right? And so you have to do this little scavenger hunt. And this is kind of the normal way we think about interacting with Salesforce oftentimes. So let's see, for a solution today, what would this look like with Idlewild's Record Spotlight Accelerator? Show us the magic. Dun, dun, dun. Let's refresh this page. And boom, here we can see Eugene, board member, volunteer, fostering a dog, part of the Legacy Society with a planned gift. I can just glance right here and see his gift information that I use. I can see, oh, he's volunteered 7 hours and he just started at the end of 2025. Great. So all of these things that we talked about at the top about Eugene, I can just see at a glance. Everything we're seeing here, and including this beautiful little banner at the top, is part of our Record Spotlight package. So you can see just like I didn't have to scroll at all. I mean, I did a little bit because I'm zoomed in, but it's really a slam dunk on contacts. Accounts is another obvious, really great place for Record Spotlight. These are the records that are often the hub of a lot of connected constituent data, of course, but can also be used on other types of records, including any custom object. So let's take a look at Eugene's donor journey. This is actually, Donor Journey is another Idlewild accelerator. So you're just getting like a little bonus sneak peek. We won't talk too much about it, but you'll get to see it. It's just a way to plan and organize your major donor strategy. So looking at Eugene's 2026 donor journey record here, I can see some of the same badges that are pulled down from his contact record. So I stay in that context of his kind of general involvement with our organization. But below that, I have some new metrics that are now focused on his give-get progress towards some goals that are specific to Eugene. I can also see down here one more spotlight component that we haven't seen yet, which is this progress bar. In this case, it's showing us Eugene's progress towards our goals for him, for both for direct giving and for soft credit giving. You can also imagine this kind of metric being really useful on a campaign, for example, where you might have goals for fundraising via related opportunities or event attendance tracked by campaign members, and you could just glance and see your progress towards your goals on a campaign. It could also be useful in other custom objects that you might have in your org, something like program tracking, if you want to track enrollment goals or constituent progress towards program goals, for example. And that's really it. That's our record spotlight. I can show it on some other records, but we're keeping it snappy.
I love it. That's fantastic. And I'm sure there are questions. I wish I'd had my mic on when you showed that, because I was just like, ooh, just beautiful. And I'm going to ask a couple of questions and then we'll open the floor to whoever wants to have them. So obviously this works with Nonprofit Success Pack, right? I'm assuming that's for this particular example. It's Nonprofit Success Pack behind it.
This org is actually is NPA, which so that is another one of our sort of our core Idlewild Accelerator. NPA is an alternative to NPSP. So for folks who are thinking about the future where NPSP is maybe not the future anymore, NPA is a lovely alternative where I would say we took all the things that you love about NPSP and built them in a more declarative way. So all of the automation is with flow. We didn't rebuild the things that we've never liked about NPSP, and we've built it in a, so it's a lot of the same. It's the functionality you love with generally a better interface, it's like it's an unlocked package, so you can make all of the pieces work for you. There's always been those elements of NPSP that you just had to ignore or work around and just know they were there. So it's going to look and feel a lot like NPSP in some of the core bits, but this is actually NPA. Record Spotlight does work with NPSP. I think it would work in any org. It's really just a metadata based magic.
Good. So that was so good to know that it's agnostic.
Any customer standard object, I think. Yeah.
It works with AFNP as well. And it's an unmanaged package. So it's developed by us. You've got to get it through us. You can't download this like through App Exchange or anything, but you have full customization, and it can be configured for any fields in Salesforce, custom fields. So there's like a ton of flexibility with it.
Yeah, in fact, that was my next question about how customizable it is, because I know every nonprofit has very specific needs and everybody thinks they're different. So, in fact, I really, when you were showing the well, the time, not timeline, but the
Like the progress to goal.
yes, the progress. That's what I was thinking.
Mhm.
I thought about education. My daughter just graduated from university, and I was thinking about, how far along is the student in, pursuing their major or whatever. I mean, I could
Yeah,
see that
credits
so many-
toward graduation. That would be super fun.
Yep. I was
Wouldn't
an
have to
executive
be-
director for Habitat for Humanity. They had to accumulate 400 sweat equity hours. How far along? There's so many goals, right, that can be measured that way. So that's great. Akash, you got questions?
Yeah, I do have questions. So I just want to make sure that I understand it completely, though it is really so amazing to see everything within this small window, right? I can see
Mhm.
everything that I
Mhm.
need
Mhm.
about this donor within this space. So I loved it. I can't express myself more than this, but I love this. Okay. So the next thing the question that I have is, there must be a number of automations or scheduled jobs which are running in behind for the calculations,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask that for the data load and everything, how you are controlling that the batch size and everything, so as to minimize the system slowness or tech debt.
I'll let Katie speak if she has anything to add. I know some of them, so I've used I think a lot of them can be roll-ups. So especially when I think there's two main places that these visualizations are going to be coming from. One might be from data that's right on the page, like that checkbox that says he's a board member. That's just a one-to-one relationship. Checkbox, board member, then you get a board member sticker. So there's really no automation or anything fancy at all happening there, except setting up that sticker to show up at the top of the page. For many of these, what we're trying to do is surface insights that are coming from related lists. So there are standard roll-ups that we all are used to in NPSP. NPA has similar ones rolling up, like donor information. So like total gifts, average gifts, those are roll-ups that might be using NPSP triggers or DLRS roll-ups in NPA, I think is what we use, or other things like that. So that's things that we're familiar with. But then it puts that data right on the record. And again, it becomes a simple kind of one-to-one relationship from roll-up total to, whatever total amount here, or something like total volunteer hours, like we saw on his contact record. And then other things that are in related lists, custom roll-ups are often a way that we get those kinds of things. So like total volunteer hours. What are other good examples? Let's pop back up to Eugene. Just seeing he's a foster. So just creating a simple roll-up that then this can reflect on and say, okay, if he's a part of a current active fostering program, then give him a foster sticker. And then that logic kind of lives in the set.
And all that is configurable, right? I myself can configure it. Okay, that's amazing. I don't have a second question, but I do have something to ask actually, because I would love that capability on top of this that will turn out magic. Right? So AI capabilities on top of it, like recommendations and the next steps, how I can plan the reach out strategy, the campaigns, and things like that, and where I can invite this very meaningful donor to that particular campaign that I want to. So all those decision-making capabilities with the help of AI, I think that can be something which will this already is so amazing.
Yeah. I can speak a little bit about that. So right now, this isn't configured to work with the AI component. That being said, I do think it'd be a really interesting use case. So because NPA, the org that we're looking at, is built on standard Sales Cloud, you have the full functionality of any type of Salesforce AI tools. So you could create your own queries to say, for folks who are community well-being members, then what would the action be? our donor journeys accelerator, I don't want to like sidebar us too much, but our donor journeys accelerator is really the only one where we began to like pilot using AI. But that's another topic. But all of that to say, you could use this data to pull in.
And again, just want to call this out again. NPA is a non-managed package.
That's right.
So it's the nonprofit
Amazing.
Accelerator. Yeah, and it's just built on Core Sales Cloud. So you have full Salesforce functionality.
That adds a real value to the product actually. Loved it.
I think it's so nonprofit friendly. Like it's like really thinking about the community needs first and centering that with making it an unmanaged package, which is really is a lovely idea. I was thinking about, as you were talking about the AI, envisioning where this could go with AI. Like Katie said, there's nothing intrinsically AI about this, or it's not built for AI specifically per se. But I think it could give you sort of like the logical building block as you're thinking about
Absolutely.
What kinds of insights on this contact could build me towards having an effective AI summary. So even before you get to actually building, a prompt builder or something like that, a recommended next step with this guy, just going through the exercise of what insights do I want to surface in this donor journey? It's this mental exercise of, okay, I want to highlight planned gifts. I want to highlight volunteering. I want to highlight board member fostering, all of these things. And then you have to go through the process of how do I get that onto the record? Is it a roll up? Do I need to have a flow that updates something from something? You have to get the data onto this record for the donor spotlight that has something to hook into. And having gone through, I think, that mental exercise, you have sort of teed up these key pieces of information that you can then use as you're writing a prompt builder. Like, here are the pieces of information I think you should look at, prompt builder, as you write a summary for this donor or a recommended action plan for this donor based on XYZ criteria. So
absolutely,
it's not about AI, but it's about, really connecting with your data and getting those building blocks together. Yeah.
And do you find the donor summary and the volunteer metrics, those sorts of things, does that help prompt data cleanup, right? Because if I pulled Eugene up and he had $5 total gifts all time, I'd be like, oh, wait, something's wrong. Something's not.
Absolutely. Yes. And you could miss it if it's just sitting there in a related list and it's a list of records. Like, what are you going to notice? But when you see that impact, this colorful boom, and it's wrong, it's just like having a good dashboard. Honestly, it's just a little dashboard on a record is kind of what it is.
Which leads to my question. Sorry. Leads to my question. Can you report on these metrics?
Yeah. Each of these points that we're looking at really is just a data point that is on the contact record.
True.
Like we looked at the beginning, I scrolled around and found them all. They're all here. When it comes to things that we were looking at in the related lists, like volunteering, those are living in this related list, but to get this 7.25 hours, that's a roll up that is in fact on his contact record, even if it's not on the front page. It doesn't need to be on the front page because I'm putting it on my donor summary.
Right.
So to your question specifically, any of these data points can just be in a report as well.
But all kind of individually, like as you part of board directors and all the things that you're gathering from different related lists, you'd have to gather them old school from all the different types of reports, if they were.
Really, each one of these things is a piece of data on the contact record. It has to get rolled up to the contact record in some way first. So you could have a report that just had a column for, I can't point to my here. You could have a report that had, a thing that said community well-being, like whatever indicates that he's, whatever, actually don't know what that one means. But something that says he's a newsletter subscriber, something that shows his planned gift checkbox. It wouldn't be nearly as pretty, but for whatever you do need on dashboards to show all of my planned gift people, here's a key bit. It gives your users insight into what they can report on, right? I can report on all my planned gift people. I see it here. That means the data, it's all available in a standard. In this case, it would be available in a standard contact report.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
which would help you think down the road for the cleanup when you see something out of place, then it's like, ooh, you know what? There's probably others. Let me run a report on this. Yeah.
I'm working with a client right now who the board member one is a good example. They're trying to do some board reports. I said, cool, that should be fine. Until we look and see that they're kind of, the way that they've tracked board members has been kind of
Fluid.
3 different people at least have come with 3 different ways of doing it in their system over the years. And so it's just this little hodgepodge of indicators that someone might be a board member. I said, well, you can't, there's no one place that truly indicates that someone is a board member. We actually can't. So, it would force some of that kind of cleanup. Like when I want to show this nice little board member sticker, then it's going to force that conversation of how do we cleanly and consistently always track our board members to get that sticker to work.
Love it.
Yep.
And
And that's always a good thing to teach.
I have noticed clients who use this, I think they like take greater pride in keeping their data clean because it is put front and center on the page layout. So before, where maybe, folks wouldn't notice if you didn't have a field filled out because you had to scroll. Now it's front and center. So teams really are like, okay, we want to make sure our data is solid so that way when we're looking at records, we can see those key insights.
As a data cleanup nerd, that excites me.
As an AI nerd, the data cleanup excites me. So it's a little bit tiered there.
Let's get a band together.
Other questions? Anyone else?
I assume activities is at the bottom of the badges area. Yeah.
I think it's still down here.
Yep. That's right. Yep. Same. Yeah.
Nice.
It's however you build the page, but yeah.
However you want to put your page. Yeah. And I kind of zoomed in here to make it extra poppy, but oops, that's even more.
And also, you don't have to do all of these different components. So on some pages, you were like, we just want record badges, or we just want like a donor summary section. You can kind of pick and choose how you want to do it, or you can do them all. So there's a lot of flexibility there.
So Stephanie, I don't know if in your demo or you've got this set up, but if you click, say, on the account name on Cora and Eugene Smith family, do you have the same sort of?
I don't know. We have look. So here's an example of a much more simple, just at a household level. You see there a major donor and a VIP.
Right.
Yep.
But good to see immediately, right? Because you're talking to a major donor, from the family as a whole. So, yeah.
Yeah. Once you have the tool, we talked about that. This is this package is only available from Idlewild, that it is an unlocked package. I wanted to say about the pricing piece that it is it's a one-time fee. It's not like it's not monthly forever thing. Sure. If anyone's wondering or curious about that. So you get it and then you truly own it, and you can put it on as many custom or standard records as you want. Do it slowly, do it quickly. It's your tool once you have it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. If no one has any other questions, some quiet folks.
Very cool.
We will wrap it up. And again, thank you all so much for sharing this with us. And we will see you again soon.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.